information to you guys as possible. So I'm going to get right down to it. We're going to talk about really how to make sure that this year, 2014, is the year that's going to change your dang life. I mean, some of you have been in the business long enough where it's time. It's time. Some of you guys are brand new, which you should be excited, but some of you guys have been around a little while, and it's time. It's time to get this stuff down so that you can make some progress in 2014. Just remember, Primerica was built, Greg, for speed. Primerica was not built, Miles, to go slow. Okay? Now, sometimes it goes slow. Sometimes, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not going to happen overnight. But there's some things that if you do correctly, you can make progress a lot faster. Okay? So let me talk about some of the main areas. We talked about skills, production, mindset, and profit. Okay? So skills. The skills a Primerica agent has are the foundation for the productive and profitable career. The skills are either made of steel and cement or they are made of sand. Obviously, one is lasting and strong and one goes away with the slightest amount of adversity. They must be learned and ingrained into the subconscious mind. We are still one of the only industries where basic skills are not required. Because of this, each agent has to take time each day to improve on the specifics of what he or she is going to say and what he or she is doing. Without skills, the agent must rely on waiting or buying as a means of recruiting and getting business. Remember, there's waiting and buying are very time-consuming and very expensive, and it's very difficult to control the responses they get. So, in our business, you don't start Primerica and know all the information. It's not like you went to college and now you're starting in Primerica and okay, you got it. You have to start in Primerica and gain the skills here. That's why we do Saturday trainings. That's why we're constantly doing big events, and we're constantly, we have our website, building-leaders.com, and we're constantly trying to improve your thinking. We're trying to give you the skills, the knowledge, the information to have success here. Because you have to learn everything for the first time right here. You do not know how to build a Primerica business yet. Especially the new guys, right? So that's why it's critical that you're here this morning. That's why it's critical that you're here next Saturday morning. That's why it's critical that you, in your calendar, what I did when I first started Primerica, I've been doing this for 18 years, never missed a meeting, Travis, for 18 years. Okay? And if you ever see me miss a meeting, it's because I'm speaking at another Primerica event. Okay? So if you ever don't see me here on a Saturday morning right here, it's because I'm somewhere else talking about Primerica. This is what I do. If I go on vacation, I don't go on vacation on Saturday morning. First of all, everybody goes on vacation on Saturday morning. So that means I'm going to be at the crowds and all the people. If I'm going on vacation, I go on vacation on Monday morning. If I don't go to amusement parks on Saturday or Sunday. I go to amusement parks on Monday or Tuesday. Okay? And just, advice, okay, here, guys? I mean, it's so much better. But, so Primerica has always been my business. I treated it as my company. I didn't look at this thing as some little spare time opportunity. You treat it like spare time, you're going to get paid like spare time, right or wrong?
Yes.
Okay? So, you got to get the skills. And getting the skills, in major part, you got to get the skills by showing up. You got to come, right? You got to be here. And then when you're here, you got to be present. When you're here, you got to be engaged. When you're here, you got to be involved. Okay? I mean, one of the things I learned a long time ago is even the way that you sit. Like Carlos, I love you, Carlos. But what I would recommend, if you want more out of this event today, sit up a little bit. Sit up. Sit up. Just almost sit a little bit forward. Just be engaged. You know what I mean? Okay, you're good. Just like that. Just like that. Now, again, I'm not saying you can't, get comfortable or whatever. Don't be uncomfortable. But remember, if you sit back in your chair like this, okay, you're not as engaged. I learned this from Anthony Robbins at my first Anthony Robbins event, and this was 18 years ago, okay? And it really helped me to become a better learner. Well, I was telling our licensed agents this morning that learning from me was always very difficult. It's even to this day. I don't read a whole lot. I listen to audiobooks, and I love to watch videos because I'm more engaged. Like, I can watch that whole video. That was 27 minutes of me getting information, right? Some people say, well, you don't read. If you don't know how to read, then you're never going to learn. No, that's not true. I don't read very much at all. But I learned a whole lot over my life, okay? Because I figured out ways to learn the way that my brain learns. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I've been able to maximize that and learn for a long time. So something to think about. All right, production comes to agents as they develop their skills, intensify their commitment, and follow their business plans. Production is a result of doing each day those activities that lead to recruiting and sales. So in our business, our two main areas that we're always thinking about, Greg, is recruiting and sales. If we're recruiting, we're growing the organization. If we're selling, we're becoming profitable. So if we're growing and profitable, those are a very good, that's a very good mix of two things that can help you become successful in the business. A productive agent is going to spend 70% of their work day involved in prospecting, find new recruits in business, lead follow-ups, setting appointments, qualifying prospects, recruiting presentations, closing IBAs, F&As, financial needs analyses. The other 30% of the day will be spent in the management of the staff, planning, occasionally working on a problem or transaction. So what are we saying? We're saying that most of your time should be spent trying to go find new recruits and trying to find new sales. So if those are our two main bread and butter is recruit and sell. If I have a new recruit, if Travis is my new recruit, all I want him thinking about is recruiting and selling. I don't want Travis to worry about school his first 3 days in Primerica. I'm not worried about the class yet. I am worried about him recruiting and selling. If I can get him recruiting and selling, he will feel better about Primerica. If he doesn't recruit and sell, he will quit. Trust me on this, okay? Sometimes we feel like we don't want to be hard on our new recruits, but you've got to be tough on your new recruits to get them going quickly, because if they don't get going quickly, they will quit. Trust me. Okay, please, if you don't hear anything else I said today, hear that, okay? Your new recruits, it's essential for your new recruits to get off to a fast start. Mindset. Many people believe that it's easier to learn a skill than it is to develop strength of mind, and they are right. Mindset is simply developing mental strength so that the day's ups and downs do not throw them off track. Developing a strong mindset is probably one of the biggest challenges and most important challenges every individual faces, and is critical to your growth. Okay, so you got to be mentally tough. You can't win at anything if you ain't mentally tough. So you got to get your mindset right, and you got to become right. So our mindset in the business, the things that we're thinking about is recruiting and selling. But if we're not mentally tough, and somebody tells us no, that'll what? Throw us off. So if Anthony's first day in Primerica, he calls somebody up and says, hey, will you set up an appointment with me? And that person tells you no, or tells you a bunch of negative things, okay, or tries to discourage you, or puts you down, or something like that. If you're not a mentally tough person, then you will quit. If you are mentally tough, then you'll say, that's okay, that's just their opinion, I don't need to believe their opinion, you know what I mean? And I'm just going to go keep doing what I'm going to do, and I'll find somebody else to talk to. That is the mindset of somebody that is mentally tough versus the mindset of somebody that gets a no, or somebody tells them, right, Joseph? Somebody tells them I can't do it, and you're like, oh my God, I knew it didn't work. My brother's, aunt's, uncle's dog told me it didn't work, so forget it. I'm out of here. I quit. And that is the majority of the world is they're not mentally tough. Why do you think it's easy to win in Primerica? I think it's easy to win in Primerica. The reason why I think it's easy to win in Primerica, because most people think the wrong way. So because I've differentiated myself, Travis, from the rest of the world, and I understand how to have a correct mindset, I've been able to separate myself from the masses. Therefore, I've been able to have success in this business. Okay? Does that make any sense? Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Profit. What's left after the expenses have been paid? This includes personal expenses. It's what you get to keep and invest for your financial independence goal. For an agent to believe that they can create production without the proper skills and mindset is foolish. So if you think you're going to make a lot of money in Primerica, Greg, but you only practice Primerica a couple hours a week, that is foolish. Because if you don't understand, if you don't have the proper skills and the proper mindset, then you will not be profitable. You won't make money. The growth of your profit in Primerica is the proof that you've mastered or are in the process of mastering skills, production, and mindset. So when you make money here, it just means it's because you know what you're doing. So but give yourself time, because some people, they don't give themselves enough time to succeed, especially new recruits. I notice this about new recruits. They show up once or twice, and then they say, you know what, I haven't made any money yet, so I quit. But they forget that people that are in college go to college for 4 or 5 or 6 years. They get paid no money, okay, in 4 or 5 or 6 years. It takes some people like 5 or 6 years to get out of college. They got paid no money, $0, and they were in school for all those years. At least in Primerica, we have an opportunity to actually make money while we're training. While we're in that 4 to 5 year period of time, we can make a lot of money. I mean, within 3-4 years, we were already making $100,000 a year with Primerica. So 5 years, I think we were making $170,000. 6 years, $250,000. 7 years, $350,000. 8 years, $450,000 a year with Primerica. We were already making per year. So, but through those years, I was mastering my craft, and I was becoming very, very profitable in the business, making a lot of money. All right, so let's look at the exact tips that I want to give you on how to master this thing, how to get great at Primerica. So number one is skills. So let's talk about skills. Number one is developing the ability to set, maintain, and follow a goal-oriented, disciplined daily schedule is critical to one's success. Each of us must develop the skill of not only setting the schedule, but then create the discipline to follow it daily. So do we have to have discipline? Yes. You have to have discipline to be successful at anything?
Yes.
Okay? So that's probably a good place to start. You want to have a great 2014? Start creating daily disciplines, daily habits of things that you're going to do every single day. Okay? Number two, to increase your skills, you must determine what motivates you as an individual. So this year, you got to sit back and go, okay, what motivates me? And you should probably figure that out before January 1st. Okay? Before January 1st. Figure out what motivates you. What is it, right? What did John Maxwell say today? He said, what makes you cry? What makes you sing? Okay, what makes you, what was the last? Dream. Yeah, exactly. So we have these things. We know what those things are. It's very easy to identify. Just bring them out, put them in writing, so that way there's no mistake. Doesn't matter. That is your motivation all year long. You know exactly why you're motivated. Remember, we're in our business, you guys got to remember, everybody's an individual, but we're on a team. And nobody in here is an employee. He talks about his staff. I mean, they're employees at the end of the day. It's a little bit different. because they kind of have to be motivated. If they want to keep their job, I bet you he'd fire you probably pretty quickly too. Doesn't seem like the kind of guy that wouldn't fire you pretty quickly if you didn't do it. See, I can't fire you. Veronica, doesn't matter what you do, I can't fire you. All right? So it's kind of a good thing, but it's a bad thing in a way, right? I mean, it's a good thing because you don't have to ever worry about getting fired in Primerica, but it's a bad thing because maybe we can't motivate you as toughly. You know what I mean? Because if we motivate you too tough, then you quit and you just leave. That makes sense? So sometimes it's a good and a bad, but we're a volunteer army. People get to show up today if they want to. They don't have to show up today if they don't want to. Matter of fact, people can tell you, hey, I'm going to be there, and then not even show up. People told me today, I'll be there, and then they're not here. Okay, I can't fire them, though. Matter of fact, I can't even call them up and yell at them. Man, that sucks, man. I mean, no, really, though. I mean, you have to find out what motivates you and what drives you, because that's what's going to keep you in the game. That's what's going to keep you around for another 365 days this year. And so that you have an amazing 2014. Number 3, prospecting results come as a result. And by the way, guys, if you want to write down little notes here and there, that's fine. But I'm going to send you this whole thing, okay? I'm going to send you, because it's not like specific points, you know what I mean? There's like 60 of them here, all right? So there's a lot, okay? So just like what I want, like even when you're here with me on Saturday, anytime you're here on Saturday. Now, some people like writing down notes. You know, what's funny is that all my life, you know, I always, and this morning I think was neat for me to even share a lot of me with you guys. I mean, there's probably some things that you learned about me that maybe you didn't even know. And you know, one of the things all, you know, through the years, because I've been to 1,000 meetings with Primerica through the years. And I'm not a very good note taker. You know, I'm just not a good note taker. I've never wrote a lot of notes. I've never been a big note taker. And probably because when I take notes, I got to go back and reread them if I want to go relearn it. And I don't like to read a whole lot, so I probably don't write notes. Now, again, I'm not telling you don't write notes. I mean, everybody says, you know, Phil Whittle says, Hector says, you know, everybody says, take down notes, write notes. But the thing about it is I have all these notes from all these years, Nelson, and I never reread them. Never reread them. You know what I mean? Now, you can if you want to, and again, I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just saying, me personally, I never wrote a lot of notes. I never had this special journal that I had. You know, sometimes I go to these meetings, and this guy's got this really nice leather-bound, you know, journal, man. It's just full of awesome, incredible notes, and it's just so perfect and well put together and all this stuff. And I go and I look at my little, I got like 3 notes, and the guy spoke for an hour and a half. You know what I mean? You know, but I just read this book that I was telling you guys, David and Goliath, and it dawned on me that that's just not the way that I learn. You know? So we got to figure out the way that we learn, and then learn that way. Instead of feeling like we got to do it like everybody else. If I don't want to do it like everybody else. You know what I mean? Now, if you're comfortable, if you like writing notes and you go back and you reread them, you're organized, then go do that. But you don't have to be like everybody else. You don't have to do the things like everybody else does them. You can be a little bit different if you want to. And so maybe I'm just a little more visual. So today, try to be a little bit more visual. If you want to take a lot of notes, you can, but just because you're going to get a copy of all notes, okay? Look at me, though. Look at my passion. Look at those things. Instead of the specific words that you're, you know, always thinking are so important that you get. Look at me. You know? Be with me. Get the feeling, the intensity. Why do you think I built a multi-million-dollar company? You think it's because I wrote good notes down? Or is it because I'm passionate and I'm excited and I'm motivated and I'm ready to go do something big with my life? And I care about people and I care about this thing. You think that that means a little bit more? then all the other stuff that we think you're supposed to do to be successful, most of the things you think you got to have to be successful, you're wrong. Most of the things you think you got to do to be successful are actually wrong. You're wrong. Or just misinformed. Not even wrong. It's bad to say that. Misinformed. I'm telling you, man, there's so much we don't know yet. That's why we got to keep growing. That's why we got to keep learning. Because some of the things that are ingrained in you from a child, Nicole, are not correct. So you got to keep growing so you can figure out what the correct things are. So you can get this thing right. Because so much crap is thrown at us for all these years, man. And then we think this one way, and we don't, like an old dog, we're like, oh, I'm an old dog, I can't teach me new tricks. No! If you're an old dog, you probably need to be taught new tricks. Okay? It's like, okay, no, I won't say that. All right, number 4, prospecting intensity is critical. You should never stop your prospecting because you have or have not generated a lead. Generating or not generating a lead is not the issue. It's the discipline of completing the prospecting process that is the issue. This requires intensity and what? Discipline. Can you all say that? Discipline. Discipline on your part. It's discipline. The people that don't make it in Primerica, they're not disciplined. Now, it takes time to be disciplined, but man, they're not disciplined. Greg, if I was Greg, man, just got out of the military, so proud of you and everything you accomplished, and I mean, I've known Greg since he was just a little kid, little guy, man. Now he's a big guy, But it's like you should take all the things that you got from the military, all that discipline and all that you learn, just take yourself back and think about all the intensity. Instead of trying to remove that from your life, because I know that that's probably what a lot of guys do. They get out of the military, they're like, man, I was disciplined for 4, 5, 6 years, blah, blah, how many years. They were so disciplined on me, you know what I mean? And then you get out of the military and you're like, well, I don't want to be disciplined, man. Throw my socks over there and throw my underwear over there, and I don't want, have to be disciplined no more because I had to be disciplined all that time. No. Stay disciplined. Use what you learned there to help you win here. Because the reason why they wanted you to be disciplined in the military is because they were trying to save your life. Am I correct, Steve Whipple?
100%.
100%. The reason why they want you to be disciplined, Travis, right? Absolutely. Is because it's your life that we're talking about. We're not talking about, selling a little bit of insurance and mutual funds here. You know what I mean? We're talking about life and death. Pretty serious. But why lose that? There's a reason. Discipline is good. It's good to be disciplined. It's good to have habits. You get up in the morning. You do your pending. Make sure that your policies are issued. Make sure that you call the home office. Make sure you got paid on this or that or do that or whatever. Every morning you get up and you go, okay, so who can I prospect today? Who can I have a conversation with? Who can I meet today? Can I make a friend today? Every day. It's just a simple, little, boring things that you do over and over and over again that don't stop unless you stop it. And, that's why it always amazed me. Because I would see somebody doing well, having success, kicking some butt, and then they go on vacation. Right? And I go, man, that was dumb. Because then they start falling back, and then what do they got to do now? They got to push the train in the opposite direction when the train is what? Stopped. And they got to push it now. What are they talking about? Was it hard? Was the momentum now? Was it difficult to get the thing going now? Again? So you keep starting and stopping all the time. that's a mistake. Right? You start showing up on Saturday training, don't stop showing up on Saturday. You get to, Veronica, Anthony, you guys get to start right now. If you want to be mega successful at this thing, you get to start right now. You know what you could do? You could say, you know what? Every week I'm going to be here. You could write it in your calendar. You could put a little X like I did. I went in my calendar and I put an X on Saturday and I put an X on Wednesday night. Or Monday night this week, but you know, generally we meet on Wednesday nights. And I put a little X on Wednesday and I put a little X on Saturday. You couldn't catch me doing anything. So Travis, you're my brother. You called me up on Saturday morning. Hey man, I need your help. Can I get a little water, babe? I need your help. Moving. I got to move my stuff. So I need your help on Saturday morning. You know what, Travis? I love you, man. You're my brother. I care about you, but I got to be at my office now. We could do it after 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock or something like that, but I can't do it until, you know what I mean? Because I got my training on Saturday morning, and it's very important that I'm here because I'm trying to train, man. I'm in training. I'm trying to be successful at this thing, and if I stop, then I might miss information that I don't want to miss. Thank you. I might miss that information. I don't want to miss, I'm not prepared to miss that information. Because I might hear one thing on Saturday morning, I might hear one thing that might take my business to the next level. Or I might hear one thing that I heard for the 47th time and it finally clicked. How many of you ever heard something that you're like, it only took like 10 years to click? You know what I mean? It's like, some of us are just slow. That's all right. You know, it's all right. Don't judge me. All right. Okay. Number 5, the objective in prospecting is to get appointments, not leads. The objective is to get appointments. If you're just picking up names and numbers every day, well, that don't mean anything unless you get appointments, right? If you meet new people, or if you make a new friend, or you introduce yourself to somebody, the whole goal is to get an appointment. Now, you may meet somebody, Jonathan, and invite them to the meeting. There's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of like an appointment, but you get them to the office, you put them through the meeting, and let's see what's going to happen. At least they get to see that opportunity. Now, if they are a qualified lead, then it's probably a better idea to try to get them to their kitchen table. Okay, that would be the best opportunity for you, because then you're going to probably end up being able to do business. This is the problem with getting a qualified contact. So let's just say, Travis, you say, hey man, I got my buddy, he's totally motivated, and I say, is your buddy married? Yeah, he's married, he's got a couple kids, but man, he's really motivated, I want to recruit him, I'm going to get him down to the office on Monday night. And I go, that's great, you could do that, but this is where the mistake could happen. If you get your buddy to the meeting, and he's married with kids, and you get him to the meeting, and he hears the meeting, and he goes, you know what, I'm really not interested in the business. I'm really not interested in Primerica. Matter of fact, that guy, for whatever reason, I didn't even really like that guy that much that night anyways. You know what I mean? So for whatever reason, the meeting turned him off. Okay? But he was married and he had kids and everything. So then what you do is you go, all right, well, let's get together. Let's set up an appointment to get together in your house. And he says, well, that's good, but I kind of know everything already now. I kind of got all the information that night. I don't really want an appointment. So now we didn't recruit him and we didn't sell him. So that was a mistake, wasn't it? It was a mistake to invite a qualified contact to the office on the meeting night. Okay? Because remember, the meeting night, like on Wednesday nights, those nights are 100% to try to recruit new people. So what that meeting is designed for is for me to invite a new person, prospect, that probably is not qualified right now. Or maybe I don't know him that well, where, I'm going to invite him down because he won't even let me in his house. You know what I mean? Because if I meet a guy at a store and the guy says, yeah, I'm interested in the business, I may not say, hey, let's get together in your house so I can sit down with your wife and your kids, and you don't know me, you think I'm a freaking, like a serial killer or something like that, okay? Sometimes you're going to have that situation, so you'll just invite him down to the meeting. That's okay. But if it's my new recruit and she's going to bring her brother that's qualified to the meeting, that's a mistake. You guys with me? Yeah. The brother, I want to sit down in the brother's home So therefore, we can try to recruit the brother, or if the brother's not interested in being recruited, we could possibly sell. Does that make sense? Because remember the two things that are important that we're doing? Recruiting and selling. Very, very important, okay? When you get a lead, you must qualify it immediately and close for an appointment. Otherwise, you're going to be spending too much time doing lead follow-up later. You don't want to follow up with any lead that isn't qualified. So our main objective is to qualify the leads. Now, are we going to invite everybody down to the office? Yeah, we'll invite it, because every single person, even if they're not qualified, we're going to still try to recruit them. Yes or no?
Yes.
All right, so it doesn't matter. We're going to recruit everybody. Right, Nelsa?
Right.
We're recruiting everybody. We're going to give everybody a shot. Now, do we want to bet, is it better to be in a qualified market?
Yes.
Yes, it is. But if you have someone that's not qualified, are we still going to try to recruit them?
Yes.
Yes, because we want to recruit what? Everybody, okay? Number 6, we generally do not prospect for any one of a few reasons. You must discover which is stopping you. For example, we don't have any scripts to use. We can't handle a rejection. We need acceptance, or we're embarrassed, or maybe it's something as simple as poor time management skills because we've never created the schedule referred to in point 1. So I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why people don't prospect. I think, personally, it's people that you're just being lazy. I think you're being lazy. Because prospecting is not hard. If you think about it, I say the same thing every time when I prospect. Is that right, Aramis? Just like I did right now with you.
Right.
You know, well, not really prospect, that was after the meeting, but like if I meet someone, like I meet you at the store, Travis, I go, hey Travis, man, you look like, you're real good with people and everything, you're really good at customer service. How long have you been working here?
8 months.
8 months. Hey, man, hey, that's great. I mean, so how do you like it, man? You like it like the first day, man? You still enjoy it? It's all right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, hey, look, man, I'm actually a manager in charge of expansion. I'm growing my company. I'm just right here in Ontario, man. We're growing like crazy right now. I'm always looking for good people, man. You ever keep your options open if the money was right?
Absolutely.
Okay, sounds good, man. Why don't you jot down your number? I'll give you a call, and, hey, we'll see what happens, man. Maybe I'll invite you down to my office and sit and talk and see where it goes from there. Does that sound fair?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool, man. All right, have a great day, man. See you later. I mean, that's it. I mean, like, how complicated is that? Is that complicated? No, it's very direct, it's very simple. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. He may or may not do it. I don't know. But if I do that every day, and I just do that even if I did it 3 times a day, I mean, honestly, I don't know anybody that gets 3 names and numbers a day and that is not successful. Okay? But if all I got was 3 decent names and numbers every day, that's like 15 a week. Is that right? No.
21.
Well, if you're working 5 days a week, whatever, right? Like 15. It's like 15, that's like 60 a month. Is that right? If you prospected 60 new people a month, in 10 months, that's 600 people. Could you recruit 30?
Yes.
I mean, could you?
Yeah.
Out of 600? If you recruited 30 people, you'd probably write over 100 sales that year. And that's only in 10 months. Okay? So, come on. Really? Could you prospect 3 people a day, 5 days a week? Could you? I mean, realistically, why is it that most people don't? So it's fear. But a lot of it, though, is just being lazy. Because it takes time to get off your couch, to turn off the voice, turn off your radio. It takes time to do that. And some people don't want to take that time. And that, to me, is a mistake. So, okay. Man, I'm telling you, man, I got so much stuff for you guys. Is this good stuff or what? Are you learning a little bit here? I mean, yes.
Coaches, you making some great points, and I don't know if it may be a follow-up. Okay, so they do get the 3 names and numbers.
Absolutely.
All right, what do I do now? You know, or
Follow up.
You know,
I follow up, so I call them
the
up.
same, call
Yeah.
up the same day, pretty much.
I would call them up as quickly as I possibly could call them. So I call you up, Joe, and I go, hey, Joe, how you doing? This is Daniel. I just met you yesterday over at the mall. And I just wanted to follow up with you, man, and just wanted to see about a time to get together with you. So what's your schedule usually like? What's your, what do you work?
I'm normally home, after 6.
Okay, all right. So look, we got a couple of options, man. I mean, I can meet you and your wife at your house. I can do that. Or I can have you guys come down to my office. What would seem like it would work out better for you? What would you feel more comfortable with?
Probably the office.
Okay, all right, sounds good, man. Well, I'm doing a client orientation on Wednesday night. I'd like you to come down and, we can talk about some possibilities. We're going to be doing a client orientation, talk about who we are, what we do, and then we'll go from there. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Sounds good. That's it. I mean, it's not complicated. I think too many people are overthinking it. Remember we were talking, Travis? I mean, we're overthinking this thing.
Right.
It's not complicated. It's just the discipline of doing that. You know how many people get a ton of names and numbers every day, but they never call the people back?
Right.
Or they call them a couple of times and then they stop calling them. I would call you, literally, I would call you until you buy or die. You know what I mean? Really, but I would just keep calling you until you told me, leave me alone, or I would at least meet with you. Now, if you told me no, I would go, hey, God bless you. I was never mean to anybody. I was never a jerk to anybody. I never got mad when they told me no. Matter of fact, I was happy when they told me no. When somebody said, well, I've been thinking, I heard about your company, and I don't know, I'm just not really comfortable with that. You know what I would say? I would say, okay, bye. That's it. I didn't really care that you told me no. Because I live in a world of abundance. That one prospect is not going to make or break my life. And even if they tell me no, it doesn't even hurt my spirit. Matter of fact, it kind of makes me feel bad for them. Because they're probably going to go work at a job or stay at that job for the next 20 years and then get laid off when they need them the most. So it kind of, it makes me feel bad for a new recruit that doesn't follow through, or a prospect that doesn't follow through, or whatever. And so anyways, it's got to be a daily thing. And the skills are not complicated. The skills are not difficult. Now, if I told you, Veronica, I was going to teach you how to hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, okay, and learn how to, dive for a ground ball, you know what I mean? That might be a little more complicated. Agreed? Agreed, everybody?
Yes.
That might be more complicated. But when I give you a script, Anthony, and I say, all you got to do is say this, that's not complicated. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Just have the courage to just say, okay, I'll try. I'll do it. You know what I mean? I'll do it. Think about it. When I set up appointments with all my warm market, all I said was, I'm excited, I'm in training, need your opinion, will you help me? That's it. I just need your help. Please help me. I'm in training right now. They said no. I said, Uncle John, man, come on, dude. You serious? And they say, no, we're busy. Oh, so you don't like me? So why would you not give me an hour of your life, man? I'm your nephew, for God's sakes. Are you serious? Are you seriously telling me no? This is what, again, I would challenge them. I would challenge them. Are you serious? You're going to tell me no? We've been friends for how long? You've been my uncle for how long? You've been my friend for how long? You've been my neighbor for how long? Really? You're going to tell me no? What did I ever do to you? You don't like me? You don't trust me? What is it? What did I do to you? Are you guys following me here? It was so easy. But you know what was funny? Because most of them didn't give me a problem. Most of them said yes. 90% of them said yes. I wrote 20 sales in my training, with my trainer. Like I got started brand new like you. I wrote 20 sales with my trainer right off the bat. And I was 21 years old. I didn't have a warm market. I guarantee you, Travis, you know 100 people, man. You know 100 people. Your biggest challenge, though, is you're going to overthink this thing. That's your biggest challenge. I'm telling you, right now, most of you in this room, your biggest challenge, you're going to overthink it. Versus me, I was dumb. You know, I came in saying I was not a college graduate. I didn't know nothing, never sold nothing in my life. I had no baggage. I had no preconceived notions. I had no, thinking like, oh, this might happen, or this might happen, or this might happen. I didn't think of none of that stuff. The guy told me like this, Greg, he said, set up as many appointments as you possibly can. And you know what I said? I said, okay. That's it. And then I did it. I got on the phone, and I started making calls, and I never looked back. And I got so much training in my training, that I was an expert trainer the minute I got licensed. The moment I got licensed, I was an expert trainer. So I knew exactly what to do. I knew exactly how to do a presentation. I knew exactly how to overcome objections. I knew exactly how to do the business. Versus other people that we got started at the same time, they were still studying. But I was in the field. I went on a ton of appointments in the field, so that was real life. I think I was talking to Travis the other day. In the military, is it different when you're in combat versus when you're sitting in a classroom? Is there a difference?
Yes.
Is it different? Is it different? Of course it is. Of course it is. There it's different. It's like, I never can imagine this, but I would imagine that when bullets are flying past your head, it's probably scary. You probably might forget a few things every once in a while. I don't know that to be true, but I would imagine that to be true. So when somebody's throwing you an objection at a kitchen table, it might be different than when we're reading some script to you in the classroom. Does that make sense?
Yes.
When somebody's throwing you an objection right at the kitchen table, and you're like, oh crap, how do I say that again? In your mind, everything's going through your mind. All the training's going through your mind. So you're going to screw things up a little bit. So the way to fix that is you got to do it over and over. You know what I mean? You got to learn it, and you got to do it, and you got to experience it, and you got to see it over and over and over and over and over again. I would imagine that guys that have been in combat multiple times are a lot better under pressure, right or wrong. Because they've seen it. They've been in that situation many times. Therefore, they're probably better at dealing with what you have to deal with in those situations. Number 7, we have to create the habit of never going on recruiting presentations until we have pre-qualified the prospect. I mean, I lucked out, guys. I mean, my wife, Karma, she was my gatekeeper, okay? So every time, I was on so many appointments. I did this thing, I believe, correctly. That's why I won. But I believe the reason why my closing ratio was very high because of Karma. Because when I had an appointment, I knew that it was a good appointment because she would pre-qualify. So she would make sure that, so now if you don't have a partner doing that for you, you have to ask the questions. So like, if a new recruit called up Karma, so the new recruit calls me up and says, hey man, I got an appointment, I would always say, tell Karma, so that way she can put it in my calendar for me, so that way I can make sure I know, I can make sure my calendar's set up right. And so they would call Karma, and they would say, Karma, I got an appointment for Daniel on Monday night. And then she would say, are they married? Do they have kids? Do they have young kids? Are they, what's their income? Do they have jobs? She would ask them all these questions for me.
How do you know that?
How do you know them? So all these little questions. So she would pre-qualify the appointments for me. So when I went on an appointment, I never went on an appointment if they didn't have young kids. Like I don't go on appointments if they don't have young kids. That was the prerequisite for me. Now, if you don't have young kids, then I'll invite you to a meeting and we'll recruit you, and maybe we'll do an appointment afterwards. But right up front, Iowa goes, there are millions of people with young children in California, yes or no?
Yes.
Why are you only seeing the people with no young kids? I don't understand that, okay? See people with kids, young kids, and your closing ratio will go up. As many people, like Judy and Lewis, as many people as you guys brought to the meeting, if you really think about it, over this last 30 days, like Miles, we brought so many people with no young kids, no families, no nothing, right? You keep bringing all those people, what are your results? Not very big, right? This month. Now, you did good the month before, but this month you brought a lot of people with not a qualified market. So therefore, our results were lower, okay? But that's okay. That's no big deal. I mean, some of those guys, you keep bringing people. I wouldn't stop bringing people. I'd keep bringing people like crazy, right? Don't stop doing what you're doing. Just add to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now you're bringing all the people. So now add to it by introducing yourself to maybe some people that are qualified. Making new friends, right? See, that's good. That's smart. Okay, so you're getting it. This is like, it's like in Primerica, it's like steps. It takes time. You do this well, and then you mess up on this a little bit, and then you do this well, and then you mess up on this a little bit, and you do this well. But see, it's like a ladder. It's like the stairs. You know, you kind of, you go up, and then maybe you do a little bit, you know, okay, but a little bit bad, and then you go up a little, and then you just keep progressing. You just keep trying to get better every time, right? Okay? So I'd work on that, okay? Because that's going to determine your skills big time. Your results big time. 8, your recruiting sales presentation must be designed around questions. The questions will give you enough information to decide whether or not you want your recruit or not you want to recruit or sell the prospect. Remember, you and only you decide if an IBA or transaction is going to be authorized. So I would just make sure that you know what your prospect wants. If I sit down with a prospect and the first thing they tell me is they say, Daniel, I want life insurance. Okay? I'm not going to spend an hour and a half trying to recruit them, am I?
No.
Now, I will try to recruit them as soon as I get done with that first transaction. But because I asked the question, what do you want? They told me what they wanted. They told me what they were most interested in. Therefore, I can give them what they want. I don't want to make anybody do anything they don't want to do. I want to find out what they want, and then I want to figure out a way to give them what they want. That is how you become successful in anything in life, right or wrong.
Right.
Give people what they want, and you will be majorly successful. All right, so number 9, when you ask a question, you must be able to stop talking and listen to the answer being given. Then you must respond to that answer. That's why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So you ask a question, and then you shut up, and you listen. And listen, and listen, and listen. You figure out what that person wants. And believe it or not, every time you ask questions, the right questions, they will give you all of the answers. It's like an open book test. You sit down in a presentation, they give you all the answers. And then you can, score well on that test. Number 10, you must develop a response to every question and objection you receive while prospecting. Presenting, closing, and recruiting. This is the easiest way not only to build confidence in yourself, but also have your new recruit and client have more confidence in you. Number 11, you know when the prospect's motivation is lower than it should be because they just got a promotion, new job, or started a new business. Their satisfaction level is high, so their motivation level is low. You must learn to walk away from these prospects. Put them in a follow-up file for 6 months to a year. Give them time to get shafted. It will happen. We just don't know when.
Right.
Okay? So when somebody, sometimes people say, well, this prospect, they're just not doing anything. Well, figure out. Is it because they just got a promotion? Is it they love their job? I mean, I don't know. What do you do? No, you can't do anything for them. If they're in a situation where they're completely satisfied and they're completely happy, why are you trying to convince them that they're not? You can't do that. Recruit people that kind of are doing good, but they're dissatisfied a little bit. They're not 100% satisfied. I think most people that are in this room right now, probably there's a piece of you that's not totally. I can tell you that Simon's not satisfied being a waiter at a restaurant. That's not his life goal to be a waiter at a restaurant. He's not like, man, I love being a waiter at a restaurant. It's all I ever want to do is be a waiter at a restaurant. Is that what you're saying? Hell no. Simon hates that freaking job. Now he's happy. He's a good waiter. You tell hey, and everybody loves him and all that stuff, and he's nice and all that. He's nice, but he ain't happy being there. Like that's his future and that's his life. I know Simon. I know that's not what he wants. There's got to be some dissatisfaction, right? And sometimes you got to find that dissatisfaction by those questions. What don't you like about your job? What do you like about your job? If you won $10 million, what would you do with your life? What would you do? If you won $10 million, what would you do? What would you do? Listen to the answer. And that'll tell you all of their life's goals and dreams. So how long is that going to happen for? Is that ever going to happen? You told me you wanted this and this and this and this. Is that ever going to happen doing what you're doing right now? No. Okay, so if I can help you get that, will you give me an opportunity to share with you what an amazing opportunity this is? That's how you recruit somebody. It's just a question. It's just a process of questions. Finding out what they're dissatisfied about, what they truly want. And then our job is to help them get in so we can help them get in. Make sense? Yes. Number 12. To increase your skills, we must develop, this little section only goes to 15, so I only have a couple, and then we'll continue this for the next couple of weeks, okay? So I want to really, I'm going to go through those 4 areas, the skills, and the production, and mindset, and profitability. So we're going to go through that over the next couple of weeks. Number 12, to increase your skills, we must develop strong, positive, and negative consequences to our behavior, and then have somebody hold us accountable so we can make sure we are using the skills we are being taught so we don't continue to make the same mistakes repeatedly. So you don't want to make the same mistakes twice, right?
No.
So if you screw up, but fix it. Make it better. Don't make the same mistake twice. Don't keep doing a wrong thing over and over again. Therefore, you're going to wake up a long time from now going, how come I didn't have success? It's because you can't make them. If you continue to only bring in unqualified people, it's going to be a long road for you. You know that, right, Miles? And I don't want to see that happen. So that's why we're having this conversation, so that way you can get better. And if you learn from that and then you get better, keep inviting all those guys, because every once in a while, you never know. I came into this thing unqualified. I was not qualified when I came in here. No kids, not married, no home, not a very good job. Didn't have any money. I was not qualified. Just like you came in this thing, you're fired up, you're excited, you're motivated, you're not qualified. And you're going to have success. You've already had a little bit of success so far. You're going to have a lot of success here. So, don't ever let that unqualified people aren't doing crap, don't let that deter you. There are unqualified people that will do well in Primerica, that will have success in Primerica, I promise you. There's thousands of them out there right now that are having success in Primerica that are unqualified. Okay? You just gotta, like I came in unqualified, so the first thing I tried to do is try to go meet a lot of qualified people. Does that make sense? So that way I was putting myself in a better market of people to go see. Number 13, you can control the response and effectiveness to your prospecting by controlling both the quality and quantity of the contacts that you are making. Number 14, when prospecting, you must learn and use every word of the script, not just the words you are comfortable with. So first, learn the script, then make it your own. First, learn the script, then make it your own. Follow it as closely as you possibly can right up front. Number 15, if you're uncomfortable with making lead follow-up calls, it means that you either do not have a defined script or you do not have a lead Okay, so you should be following like crazy. It's a follow-up game. Anybody have any questions? Anybody, anything at all? I've explained a lot of stuff today. This is skills. This is about growing your skill level. This is about maximizing your profitability. This is making sure that you're productive. This is not, let's hang out and sing Kumbaya. I want to see you get results. I expect you to get results. I expect you to produce. I expect you to have success in Primerica. Do you guys get that?
Yes.
You are expected to win here.
Yes.
We have a legacy of greatness, guys. I mean, I'm telling you, we just did $100 grand in premium a couple months ago. We had massive momentum. Where that momentum went, I don't know. But we're going to get it back.
Yep.
We're going to get it back.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to rebuild some dang leaders from scratch if we have to. But I think we got some players involved right now. I think Judy and Lewis, I think they can come out with 10 grand this month. I know we only have a couple days left. What day is it today? 28, 28, 29, 30, 31, 1. We got 5 days left. I think in 5 days you guys could come up with 5 grand. I think you guys can do it. Okay, I really, you know how much I believe in you guys. I think you can do it. Okay? I honestly think that, I mean, I don't know, Joe, where are you at right now? I know your base is almost at 10, right?
We're over 10.
Oh, you're over 10. Okay, all right. So I think you guys could get to 15. All right, I think minimum you come out of this thing with 15. Okay, I mean that's got to be your mindset. That's got to be your goal. That's got to be your focus. Nothing less than 15, man. We're making 15 happen. We will do whatever's necessary. We'll do whatever it takes. We're going to blow this thing out of the water. Okay, we're going to do this. I really think that we have in place right now people that can rise up and do something big. I think that you know, we got to get some new recruits going. Anthony, we're going to have a phone blitz right now. Okay, I want you to keep it simple. I want you to set up as many appointments as you can. Veronica, as many appointments as you can. Travis, as many appointments as you can. We need you guys in the game. Miles, as many appointments. Roberta, as many appointments as you can. We need you new recruits to help us get in front of more people. You're going to help this base shop build momentum again. You're going to help this base shop do something great. You're going to help this office become successful like it should be and like it's always been. Okay? We just need to start raising some dang leaders and go fight for what we believe in. You guys got that?
Yes.
Let's meet up in 20 minutes. I'll meet you guys back in 20 minutes.